So welcome to Northern Powerhouses, our business success stories series of interviews, where we discuss with local business leaders their backgrounds, their successes, their challenges, and what's really driving them forwards. And this morning, I'm delighted to have back with us Lisa Baker, who's founder of the Baker Recruitment Group. So firstly, Lisa, thank you for coming back and spending a little bit more time with us. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, your company, what you do, how you help people, that would be wonderful.
Thanks, Chris. So yes, Lisa Baker, founder, managing director of Baker Recruitment Group. I've actually been in the business 20 years this year, so it's my 20th anniversary in June.
Wow, well done.
And we have two arms of our business. So we have an industrial sector, which is predominantly for companies that have volatility within their production. So companies who don't particularly need to carry heads 52 weeks of the year. Yep. So they have peaks and troughs, and we manage that collaboratively, making sure that we understand their operation and when they're likely to peak. And the other arm of our business is commercial. So we have an exec suite, and that is permanent placements where we will headhunt predominantly candidates from CEO all the way down to junior management. And again, that's a consultative approach, understanding the needs of the business and making sure that we find the best in class candidates.
Brilliant. So what makes a great client for you? What sort of client would you say you serve best?
Yeah, we tend to put our emphasis on clients who want to work collaboratively, who don't just want to make a call and request 10 people tomorrow, because we like to understand the business. We want to offer return on investment. So it's important that our clients, understand and appreciate just how much effort, time, investment a recruitment company would put into their business.
Absolutely. No, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm guessing with the changes in some of the employment law, the national wage and the NI changes, that's also would increase interest in that sort of temporary recruitment service that you offer.
Absolutely, Chris. As you're probably aware, from the 1st of April, national living wage is going up significantly, which is great, obviously, for our candidates. However, less great for businesses that are carrying that cost. Yeah. So again, the emphasis on using a recruitment partner is, essential to a lot of businesses' success, because again, as I said, rather than carrying all that overhead and cost, actually just carry it when you need it.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And so as you've grown the business, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've had to face, Lisa?
The biggest challenges has probably been, ironically, our own internal recruitment. You're only as good as your infrastructure and the people you surround yourself with. And I've had a couple of challenges just finding people, employees with the same passion and hunger and energy. It's tough. But thankfully, the business as it stands today is in a great shape. It's in great form. I've got a fantastic team downstairs who share the same passion and goals and energy. And that in itself has been one of the biggest challenges. But as I said, it's been one of the biggest successes as well. Wonderful.
Yeah. And we often, I guess, learn more from the challenging things than we do the easy things, I guess. So it's as long as we see them as learnings and they have value. So Lisa, as you've grown, what are some of the biggest learnings you've had about growing a business in general?
For me, Chris, I think it's had to be about USPs. I know people talk about them and they talk about them quite flippantly, but actually our industry is saturated. So it's got to be about what do you do differently?
Yeah.
And I'm sat here as a business owner with a business saying we do loads differently, but actually it's demonstrating those differentials. Yeah. We're all fishing from the same pond. What does Baker Group do differently? Onboarding. We invest so much time, money, and energy into making sure that we get to know our candidates, that we understand what they're, what's important to them, where they want to be in a couple of years' time. So we don't treat them as temps, we treat them as, valuable individuals, and we put a lot of investment into them.
Brilliant. And you're aware we're a business coaching organisation. I'm keen to know who the best coaches you've worked with, whether that's business, sport, or life in general. Who's had the biggest impact on you?
Business-wise, it's a gentleman called Jonathan Johnson. So Jonathan was part owner of the recruitment company that I first joined. So when I was literally fresh from Arla Foods into recruitment. And Jonathan, for me, just had he was just the biggest ball of energy I'd ever met.
Brilliant.
So passionate about what he was doing, where he was going, the people he was engaging with. And success breeds success. And that's exactly what that guy was. And again, I've taken so much of my learnings from my 6 years with the company, which was right direction, into what I practice today.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And whether that's from Jonathan or anywhere else, do you have any favourite quotes or sayings that you catch yourself using on a regular basis?
Yeah, so my office, Chris, is full of quotes because I love them and I live and breathe them. However, I love a real simple quote, and it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
Brilliant. Love it. Nice to be important, but more important to be nice. Bang on. That makes a lot of sense. It brings to mind, it's not the same thing, but something similar, which I think it was from Mary Kay of Mary Kay Cosmetics, I think it's an American brand, but it's something that we've been aware of. And one of the secrets to her success, she said, was whenever she entered a room, was making everyone in the room feel as important as possible.
Love that. It's not about hierarchy. It's about how you leave people feeling, for me.
Great.
You know, that is so important in life, in business.
Brilliant. Makes a lot of sense. And Lisa, I'm keen to know what you'd say you've learned about yourself throughout your journey so far.
What have I learned about myself is to not hold back, to take risks. I am probably the least aggressive risk taker you've ever met. However, that has changed over the last probably 8-10 years.
Yep.
So I would say to anybody else, don't wait, just go for it.
Brilliant. Love it. Absolutely. And so looking forward now, what does the future look like for you guys, and what do you see as the main challenges you might face, if any?
If you'd have asked me these questions 3 months ago, I would have definitely have said the hike in the national living wage and the national increase. But I think it's going to be absolutely a positive influence for our business.
Yes.
Because why would companies carry all the overhead they don't actually need? Come and talk to us. Let's streamline it. That's what I would have said. Now I would probably say the biggest challenge for us is growth. You know, we want to grow. We were on an aggressive growth plan. We are sat here today looking at phenomenal growth over the last 2 years. We've gone over 120%, which is great, and
wow.
testament to the team downstairs. So yeah, growth. Working with some great clients.
It's interesting because growth, and I often talk to people about this, is that most people say a lack of growth is a challenge, which it is, but growth itself comes with challenges. And you mentioned earlier about recruiting the right people and building a team, and it's just understanding that ultimately something I was told many years ago, which I love, which was the job of a business owner is to solve problems, and I believe growth causes problems too. So I think if we haven't got any problems, we're probably not growing fast enough.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I keep saying, infrastructure is everything. But you're right. With growth becomes new recruitment, new different challenges. So yeah, it is obviously managing that change. Yeah,
there is a great book by a guy called Marshall Goldsmith there's so much more in the book than this, but the title is "What Got Us Here Won't Get Us There," and I think that's an understanding as business owners is just because we've got a successful model to date doesn't mean it will continue if we do the same thing. It's that constant learning, that constant understanding of what a bigger business is going to need and want and how to get there. It's so key.
Yeah. Constantly evaluating what we do. Could we do things better? What technologies on the market? Can we streamline anything? Nothing stands still, Chris. And I think people that do probably won't be here next year.
No, absolutely. The world changes around us, so it just is impossible. And all the examples around are out there of businesses that chose not to change, and people like Woolworths, MFI, Blockbuster,
Yes.
all businesses that could have continued to be market leaders chose just to keep doing what they were doing, and went by the wayside, unfortunately.
I check myself every day. I really do.
Brilliant. I'm keen to know what you say to anyone that was thinking of going into business right now, Lisa.
I would say recruitment is fantastic. However, I think the perception of recruitment isn't always accurate. So I would say if you're hungry, you're driven, you're keen and you're eager, go into recruitment. Go into it, because if you've got bags of energy that you need to burn, recruitment will certainly do that for you.
I love that. Wonderful. And if you started again, is there anything significant that you think you might do differently?
It sounds quite sad, but I think I'd trust less. I think I've had some, pretty scary experiences. And I'm very good at trusting everyone, because that's who I am as a person. However, I think I would be, a little bit more cautious.
Yeah.
In any future decision making or whatever it might be. I tend to hold back and evaluate rather than bull in a china shop, which I was definitely historically known for.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, let people, earn the trust.
Yes.
It's easy to give and be trusting, and it's great to do so. But I think the other great phrase in general is trust but verify. So
Yes.
I'm going to trust you, but I'm also going to check that you've done what you said you're going to do, or whatever it be. And finally, what would be the best advice you could give an 18-year-old you if you could go back in time and do that, Lisa?
I think every time you're faced with a challenge, don't see it as a challenge, see it as a lesson.
Wow, brilliant.
Life is full of challenges and setbacks and hurdles, and I'm guilty of it, oh my goodness, what's going on? But actually, it's generally a redirection or a lesson. So embrace it.
Love it. Sound advice for us all.
Yes.
Well, Lisa, thank you so much for coming back and spending a bit more time with us. For anyone that was thinking, anyone that's would like to get in touch with you or the Baker Recruitment Group, what would be the best way to do that?
So either via our website, which is bakergroupuk.com, or I'm on LinkedIn and all of my contact details are on there. So that's for any businesses who want to work collaboratively with an extremely professional agency, or a candidate who might be out of work looking for a new opportunity. Let's chat, let's reach out and let's have those conversations.
Wonderful. Well, it'd be great to swing by another 6-12 months and just have a catch up and see how things are continuing to grow and develop for you. But for now, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris. Good talking to you again.
Thank you.